I'm David Vitti, and we're back here at Talk 21. Welcome, my co-host.
Sam Genova, how's it going, everybody?
Good. We're back.
Why did you look at his camera?
I don't know. Why not?
This is like the new season. We're kicking it and going. We're gonna go strong. 24 is gonna be a good year.
Yeah,
Now, apparently off camera, but I did record it. We're talking about the USA. Something about Dave saying that it's very expensive on the water. Explain.
No, I mean in general. Like the U.S. dollar is so strong still, and if you're traveling down there and you have a place down there, I'm finding I'm finding people complaining about how expensive things are.
Like locals?
No, not locals, like us that go down and travel down in the U.S. Traveling and vacation and resorts, everything's been cost way more than ever before. I feel like everything's expensive. Like try to book a trip.
Dollar,
try to book a trip right now. These all inclusives like $2,500 a person is like.
Nah, that's crazy.
So anyway, it's expensive, and then we're dealing with the U.S. dollar. All the condos that are like these 30, 40, 50-year-old condos are all going through special assessments.
Really?
What they call common expenses are like through the roof too. Like they're increasing because the budgets are down and all these special assessments, so on and so forth. So I feel like it's gotten more expensive over the last few years. The dollar has not helped us out either. So in general, it's been expensive.
But yeah, so now let's talk about the big thing. We're in real estate. That's what this whole podcast is about.
Yeah.
The homes there. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen it firsthand, and so have you. Sam still has yet to go to Florida for that exact reason, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go there for a vacation, not necessarily like, okay, I wonder how much it would actually physically cost to buy property here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Dave, we saw they're developing homes, 3,000 square feet, 5-bedroom, 5-bath, for less than 580,000.
Yeah, but it depends where, right?
Location. Okay, Cape Coral.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know Cape Coral. I don't know that part. Again, I'm not a big real estate guy down in the U.S. But all I know is what I know is the Fort Lauderdale side, and I feel like in those areas, like prices are still firm. If you're going in more inland, it's a little bit more cheaper. But if you got good waterfront property, it's still expensive. But you're right. There's definitely cheaper.
Yeah, you got to go
places.
out to like the boons. You know what I mean? Like where there's like
Well, that's the
developments.
problem in Florida. There is no such thing because once you get out of the vicinity of the water, you're into like almost farmland.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to be in the central Florida.
No.
It's not like that. Even the locals try not to.
Yeah,
But
that's what they can afford.
But you were there for 3 weeks.
Just
Now,
shy. Between the
question
cruise
is-
and that, yeah.
The question is, did you find it expensive as a tourist, or did you also find it expensive if you decide to live there as a local?
I mean, it's just expensive to like travel and just take time away in the U.S. just because of the exchange rate, and then dinners are expensive. Like even like if you're going out for enjoyment and you got a family of 4, it's just everything's expensive. Like, and it's almost at par with the Canadian dollar at some locations. Some locations you get really good deals, but if you're going like to the hotspots and so on and so forth, you're spending like $80 on a steak dinner without really drinking, like between sides and an appetizer, and then that translates to like the 35-40 cents in the dollar. You're like spending $100 a head for a family of 4.
It's expensive, man.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. So. But I mean, there are better deals. Like
if you're going to like Fort Myers or out there, like that's different. Like it's going to be much
that's the West
cheaper.
Coast. West Coast is essentially cheaper because the East Coast has Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Miami.
Yeah,
it's a lot more of a hotspot for tourism.
Yeah,
but they also give you tourist prices.
Exactly.
That's right.
When you're on the water, it's different than if you were like more inland.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
but
sure.
now I know, Dave, you saw firsthand the grocery stores in the U.S. They're substantially more expensive than us, even without the currency exchange.
Really?
I feel like there are again other spots that are going to be might be cheaper, but if you're like literally on the water and across the way there's like a Winn-Dixie, like in where we are, yeah, it's going to be more money. It's going to be more, and I'm telling you, like, you're not going to get some of the quality freshness that we see here, like in our grocery stores. Like I mean, we're a Italian background, so like fresh bread and fresh Italian delicatessens.
Onzi trova.
You find it, but it's just not the same. It's hard to find a nice piece of bread down there. Like, I don't know what to tell you as an Italian,
I don't
Italian
know.
descent.
I don't know about that.
Why
I don't know
you,
about that.
you've,
Yeah, in New York, I
oh,
found a
not New
bunch.
York. I'm talking about Florida.
Oh, you're
now.
talking about actual
Oh, yeah.
Florida? Yeah.
We're still talking about
I know
Florida.
different
Like, I'm sure there's.
Yeah, New
like,
York's different. It's
But I'm
a lot
just
of
saying, in
Italians.
Florida, like, it's good. Like, everything you eat is good. It's really, it's all good. But sometimes you're just comfortable with your own stuff at home, right? But
So now, because we're still staying with the U.S., Dave, one of the biggest problems is transportation here in Canada. Gas is very, very expensive. In Florida, substantially cheaper.
you know what? It's funny you say that because the last few times I've been down there, the benefit of being on the water, you can pretty much walk everywhere. So I haven't rented in the last little while. But even when you're renting, you know, these cars are economical. Like, they're smaller. Like, you're not renting a big SUV. And like, I don't even go through a tank of gas when I'm in Florida, like, because I'm just traveling
It's
really
short distance.
distances,
Yeah.
and so I barely even get a fill up used up. So, and everything else is so expensive that a tank of gas is like not even in my radar. Like, you know, you don't even spend a tank of gas, and it's basically the longest haul is almost getting you to the airport and back. That's the biggest haul. Everything else is kind of shorter. But, you know, we're thinking about going north to like Orlando in the future and maybe doing some more Universal Orlando, but we haven't done that.
You're still staying on the East Coast?
Yes.
You're not going to maybe venture onto the West? Come where I am?
No, I don't think so. I think, like, I mean, the family's made a decision to be here, and we're okay. We like it. It's a great spot. It's got everything you need. It's just everything. It comes at a price. It comes at a price tag.
Right. So now, if I had to say to you, all right, I want to buy in Florida. There's the hype. Everyone's going. I want to go. One thing that I learned being a homeowner there is if you don't have a good property manager, you can't do it. Because you physically cannot do it.
Oh,
do you
mean-
agree?
Oh,
Property
like,
manager.
yeah, like, I mean, if you're renting it and it's an investment, yeah, you need the right people in place because you're not going to be there all the time. So that's for
not
sure.
even if you don't rent it. Let's say you keep it vacant. You'll still need a property
Yeah,
manager.
of course. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, we're in a condo, so it's different. It's a different product. And there's always limitations on condos and renting them. So you might not be able to rent them for at all or for certain time periods or maybe for long periods, once or twice a year. So, but it's true. Like, when you're in a freehold or a gated community and you have a detached or semi or a town, yeah, there's maintenance. You need to have somebody going there to look at make sure everything's okay.
Or a
you
really
gotta
good neighbor that can
climatize it, air it out. Yeah, you have to do all that.
go in and check on the property and stuff. Like, I know some friends that have some house in Fort Myers. That's what they do. They got neighbors that go and check on it every once in a while.
And then you got also, like, if you got a car down there, being on the water, the salty air and the water really destroys everything. So, like, there's condo buildings on our strip that
are deteriorating.
that they have like property managers and the people that work, like, they'll go there and start the car and move them around. And so there's a lot of services. And, like, again, depending where you're situated, because Florida's very vast with the type of climate you get, right? Inland will be a bit more drier. But when you're in the water, right by the water, there's a lot of sea air and they could damage a lot of
Salt,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, of course, everyone's going to ask this obvious question, so I'll just, tell you right now. You're beside the water. Aren't you worried about the natural disasters like the hurricanes? Because Florida is very prone to them.
yeah, I mean, we're not there all the time, so we can choose when the weather's going to be better or
No,
not.
but you invested in a property that
Oh, I
could
know.
potentially get leveled.
Assuranza, buddy. You know,
So,
you have
my
insurance?
question is exactly that. Do you pay a crazy amount of insurance?
I don't know. I don't think we're paying anything that astronomical other than like whatever everybody else pays. I mean, you're on the water. If you're going to do it, you want to do it.
I'm sure
right.
you pay a premium for being close to the water, right? I'm sure there's going to be a premium
There's
attached to
definitely
that.
yeah,
for sure.
but it's expensive. But in general, everything's expensive. Again, when you got maintenance fees of over $1,000 a month, and you got property tax or 10 G's a year, if your insurance premiums are instead of being $1,000 or $2,000, it's a lot of money, but it's not that much in the bigger picture. Like you're spending thousands every time you go down, just going out for dinners and flights and so on and so forth. So I mean, it's a lifestyle. You're doing it because you want to enjoy better weather than we have here. As we can tell today, it's like freezing. And I thought it was complaining about Florida weather at 20 degrees, 21, 22 degrees. But like we come
poor
back to
guy.
this. But yeah, you know what I mean?
comment.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So then with that, we got to now talk about the next step when it comes to investing. A lot of people are saying, all right, I want to go and invest in Florida because of the tropical weather. But you as real estate agents, do you think that they should follow the hype right now, or should you just wait, hold on, start to think about it clearly? Do you think are you advocates of yes, let's go, or would you advise people to say, hold on, just hold on a second?
I don't know all of the U.S. There's deals to be had in parts of the U.S. I don't know much about it, but I know Florida, from what I understand about Florida and from what I've been seeing in the short time that we've owned down there, it's hot. It's a hot spot, and I don't think it's gonna fall. Like, it's gonna stay the way it is, but it's really not an investment, because it's an investment in your well-being and your health and your happiness to have a place to go to, and you can't put a price tag to that. So you gotta. It's not a real
Different
estate.
use,
It's not a
yeah.
real estate investment, but it's an investment in you and your family in a way to in a means of traveling. So at the end of the day,
Why is it not a real estate investment?
it could be, but I'm saying if you're going to Florida, you're investing in your wellness. You're investing in a good time to get away and building memories with your family and enjoying good weather because you want to break away from this. If it makes money, then that's a bonus. But throughout the years that you own the thing, or the property or the real estate, it's expensive. So when you do the numbers, you'll find that you might have sold it for a premium, but throughout the years you've maintained it, and it costs a lot of money. You may have, if it's a condo, you may have some special assessments.
And you also don't get that home increase like you would over here, because the homes over there go really slow up.
They do.
Because of the interest rates there. You can lock it in for 30 years. So some people are very happy being content in their little home.
Right.
Now, is that something to cause concern for people who want to invest in the U.S. when their houses do not go as high as ours here?
Yeah, I personally, there's so many more opportunities here in Canada for me. Like, I think there's more opportunities here. Again, my position with Florida, it's a recreational spot. It's like a cottage that you would own up north, but it's not. It's down south, and you got to factor that cost as a lifestyle and an opportunity to build some memories. And you can't just solely hope that it's going to be a profitable investment. You got to be using it, and you got to be enjoying it.
It's a different type of
But
use.
then
right?
I've heard about people like yourself that stuff when you have an investment property down there and you rent it and you bought it at a very good price, that the rent roll is amazing.
Yeah, that's different.
And you're cash positive every month. That happens. But again,
U.S. dollars. So
But there's a process involved. Like, a lot of people say to me, how the heck are you cash positive already? I said, well, it's not like I went in there with just 10% down.
Yeah.
Like, I already went in with the mindset of putting a substantial amount.
Right.
So this way my monthly isn't that high.
So, well, that's another topic. How do you get, like, mortgages there in Florida? Like, being...
Well, as a foreign investor, it's very difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dave can agree with me on that, but it is extremely difficult, and you do have to have a very good attorney, a very good lawyer, and preferably a really good real estate agent that knows across the border real estate.
From what I know, most people that are buying down there are figuring out financing up here. Whether they're pulling funds out of investments they have here, and they're paying them
And they're
cash
just-
down. They're paying most of them are being bought cash.
Got it.
So I mean, if you're talking about the return on the investment based on like your interest that you're paying on the money, that's another level, because everybody's got different amounts they put down and stuff. But in a nutshell, like I don't know what you're getting, but like any 3-bedroom house down there, or townhome or condo, whatever, you're going to be getting at least $3,500 a month for long term, right? Like that's USD.
Yeah, I wouldn't say long term, because in Florida, they do have high season, low season. So if you had to average it out over the year, you could probably get, for a town, you could probably get about 3,000, 3,200
3-bedroom.
for 3-bedroom,
Yeah.
3-bath for the year.
Yes.
Now, if you went solely on high season,
Then you can get way
you
more.
can get close
Yeah.
to 4 probably.
Maybe even more. So
But see, I'm talking about Southwest. You Southeast, automatically you can increase
absolutely.
it by 25%.
Yeah, we hear of people renting throughout the whole year, like long-term rentals. In a condo building like ours, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, like 1,200 feet. I'm not even exactly sure how many square feet it is, but somewhere along there. Comfortable unit. For long-term, maybe 35 a month. For long-term, like, so you got like a family move in there for a whole year, 2 years. Like we have common rentals
But right
here.
by the water, right? So.
And then I hear people that rent like for the month of January, February, and they're like getting $6,000 a month,
right.
like for like short-term rentals that somebody
That's crazy.
like a snowbird's coming down from Canada, going
That's
down
right.
once
Well,
a
let's just explain. We're talking about USD.
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
We're not talking about Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the other thing that a lot of investors don't seem to realize. When we're investing there, you're now receiving American dollars.
Absolutely.
So coming back into Canada,
So your 3,000 is not
30%.
is not
Yeah.
your 3,000 isn't 3,000 Canadian. It's
Correct.
like
It's closer to 40.
3,700.
That's
Yeah.
right. 35, 36.
Yeah.
So,
If you're gonna rent, I mean, it's gonna be somewhat covering your costs depending where you are. Like again, the HOV,
I know it's expensive.
Like the maintenance is expensive and taxes are expensive
Yeah.
a lot because we're non-residents, so there's no discount on the annual property tax you pay, and then like if condo special assessments and just general maintenance, it's expensive. And if you're renting it, you can recoup those costs. But how much are you recouping on the investment, like the portion that you're paying interest on here back at home? It's hard to say. Like that's all. Like, I mean, if it's just solely investment and you did well, like a new product, you can do well, especially if you choose the right area. But the financing might be a bigger issue. Like, you're going to be taking care of it mostly from here.
and again, I would stress, and I know that you guys could probably again agree with me. Do not go in there by yourself. Definitely have a trusted realtor with you, because they'll know. And I don't mean a trusted realtor that doesn't know. I mean a trusted realtor that knows the ins and outs of whichever state you choose to look in.
Absolutely.
If you're going to go to Florida, I wouldn't advise you to get a New York one.
No.
Because they wouldn't know the
Yeah,
ins
of
and
course.
outs, the laws, the rules. There's apparently you cannot touch a lot of the wildlife there. And if a turtle burrows a nest in your property, you cannot touch it until he leaves. So
Yeah.
it's no longer your property anymore.
That's crazy.
I didn't know about
It's
that.
very crazy. But you know what's even crazier?
We're coming to the end of the episode.
Well, coming to the end of the episode. Where can they find you guys to know more about financial investments into the U.S.?
I'm Dave Vidian. You can find me at C21 Finance and Realty.
Sam Genova. You can find me at Sam Genova Real Estate on Instagram.
And all the other socials.
Yeah. Well, also see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.